Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm one of the TAs for oceanography. This is my friend Janine, and
Hi.
we wanted to give a little practical, how to use oceanography data to to plan for a safer swim. So uh, Janine is planning on swimming from, she's in San Francisco right now. She's planning to swim from the Bay Bridge to Aquatic Park, which on this map, see is roughly from here to this cove in here. It's a distance of, what's the distance on that swim?
3 miles.
2 miles. Okay. So she's going to do the swim on Monday, and we want to figure out, what's the best time for her to do it because, San Francisco has some pretty strong currents, and if you're jumping here, you don't want to end up in a current that's pushing you deeper into the bay.
We're also looking to figure out how to go the fastest because I can't really swim 3 miles. So in a strong ebb, it would be like a 1.5. And
Perfect.
so looking to get the biggest push so I don't have to swim 3 miles.
Perfect. So the first thing we're going to look at is just the tide times. So this is from NOAA. You can go there as tidesandcurrents.noaa.gov and just search for your local station. So here is San Francisco. I believe this is the time at the Golden Gate Bridge. The deeper into the bay you go, the offset's a little more. So, or do you remember what the offset for the Bay Bridge is? The tide books say?
No, do you want me to get it?
Oh,
I
it's
don't know.
it's fine. Yeah, if you have like a local tide book, it'll give you the offsets at different places, but for our purposes, we'll just say the offset's about 15 minutes. And just go with
From
that.
to Alcatraz?
Is Alcatraz is 15 minutes?
No, is that what you're saying is the offset is?
Oh, I think the offset at Alcatraz is 15 minutes, meaning that like if we're saying that low tide at the Golden Gate Bridge is at 6:32, that would be that if the offset at Alcatraz is 15 minutes, that means that it's low tide at Alcatraz at 6:47. So for our purposes and for Janine's purpose, we'll just say that the offset at the Bay Bridge is 20 minutes. So anything that's happening here at the Golden Gate Bridge, wait 20 more minutes, and that's what will be happening at the Bay Bridge. So this
For
is
an ebb, you're saying wait, wouldn't it be earlier for an ebb?
it might be. We'll just go with the 20. We'll just go with this. We'll go with the
Okay.
times here since we just want to figure out how to read these.
All right.
Because yeah, we don't need to get into like the details on really specific differences here. So first we go to this tide chart, and we'll put in our range. So since Janine wants to swim on Monday, what date is Monday? The
31st.
31st. Okay. So we'll put in for the 31st. I'm going to put in the 30th just so we can see a little bit more of the fluctuations since she wants to swim in the morning. Uh, there's two tides every day in San Francisco Bay. At least there are two tides every day. One is bigger than another because this is a mixed semi-diurnal tide. But she wants to swim in the morning because San Francisco is a working harbor. There's a lot of boat traffic during the day. So the earlier we can go, the safer she will be. So we're going to plot daily based on this range of 2 days. And what we can see here is that the low tides are actually in the morning, which works in her favor. So we'll look here. So she's starting at the bridge, pretty much like right under this sign for I-80. And roughly the course is going to be to come out and then turn and hug shore and come into Aquatic Park. One thing, so what we're looking for is water that's flowing in this direction from inside the bay to outside the bay. So that's east to west. That's water that's decreasing in height. So that's this portion of the graph that we're really looking at. So we don't want to go super early just because It's way too early. There's no light. It's just a little trickier to manage a swim in the middle of the night. And we don't want to go too late because we might not have enough push. So we'll go somewhere in the middle here. Let's say 7 o'clock is pretty much right in the middle of that tide. Again, we don't know exactly, this doesn't show us the tide speeds, but we'll just go ahead and say that like max ebb is in the middle of the tide. That's not always true, but let's just say that's what it is. So we'll say that max ebb is at 7 a.m. And so that'll be roughly when we want to jump. Now, with this particular swim, and the reason I wanted to put this on video and show it to you guys is that, and this is what I wanted to discuss with Janine also, is that you're not just looking for the biggest push. So in San Francisco, we're looking at really specific tidal variations. This is an ebb tide here. This is Yerba Buena Island. She'll be jumping from kind of in the red spot just to the southwest of Yerba Buena or Treasure Island. And following this current, now this is Aquatic Park. This is where she wants to land, somewhere in this area. And as you can see, this is actually blue water hugging the coast with some kind of yellowish. So the red is the fastest moving water. And when you're in this current, it's going to throw you around. This is Alcatraz Island. It's going to push you in here and you're going to get shot straight to the Golden Gate. And so this is actually the critical turn that you have to make, is this turn into Aquatic Park. So because this water is moving so fast, and as Janine said, you know, she is not a super, super fast swimmer. This is, how high did we say, how big did we say the tide was?
I'm not sure.
The tide is 5.5 feet to minus. So this is for San Francisco, this is quite a good size tide. It's over 6.5 feet, or it's about 6.5 feet. This is about the largest tidal range you will find in this body of water. So there's gonna be a lot of water moving there. And that means that this current is going to be very fast. And I have swum in a tide like this before and been stuck trying to get out of the current for about an hour swimming in place before I got picked up by a boat. So yeah, the real danger here is this turn. So Janine's going to want to hug shore as close as she possibly can, make a hard right turn rather than letting the current carry her farther into the bay. She's going to want to really just hug shore super close, get into some of that slower water. Because this slower water still, you can see it has some yellow there. It's still going to give her a push. And that way she's not going to be fighting like a 7-knot current trying to get into shore. Because even like world-class swimmers do not swim 7 knots. So that's pretty much, you know, it's not possible for a swimmer to really functionally break out of that. Then on top of this, so now that we've covered, you know, we're gonna jump in the middle of the tide around 7 a.m., which gives you a buffer on either end in case it takes a little while to get out to the bridge or if things are running slow. We've established that she wants to hug close to shore to avoid the fastest of that water. And then the next thing we do is we look at the weather forecast, because if there's heavy winds, it can be, you know, she's going to be followed by a little inflatable motorboat and a kayak. Heavy winds can be really dangerous for the boats. They're actually generally okay for swimmers, but if something were to happen to Janine, she wouldn't be able to get help. And it also makes her much less visible in the water. And it's a much more exhausting swim if you're being tossed around a lot. So we're going to look at the conditions at 7 a.m. It'll be nice and sunny, 53 degrees, which is relatively warm. No real chance of rain, no clouds. So there's going to be a lot of sun breaking through, which, what's the water temperature right now?
55 to 56.
Okay. So that's my favorite temperature to swim in. I think it's quite comfortable, but it's really nice if you have if you have the sun beating down on you as well to kind of give you a little more energy during the swim. The number that we're really going to look for here is the wind speed. And a 5 mile per hour wind is not too much. It's not going to cause many issues in terms of like choppy water or danger to the swimmer. So this looks like just about perfect conditions for her to swim at 7 o'clock Monday morning.
I'll let the crew, I'll tell the crew.
Yeah,
Perfect
great.
day.
Thanks. Good luck, Janine.
Thanks.